One of the hardest truths to accept in life is this: the person who works the hardest to keep someone in their life often ends up with the least power in that relationship. It's a reality many people live without even realizing it. We mistake effort for love, persistence for loyalty, and self-sacrifice for strength. But sometimes, the more we bend ourselves just to keep someone, the more we break our own sense of worth. Relationships, whether romantic, platonic, or even familial, are supposed to be a space of shared care, not a battlefield where one person is constantly fighting to keep the other from walking away. Think about it. When you are the one who always calls first, who always checks in, who always apologizes for things you didn't even do, you're not just showing affection. You're also silently teaching the other person how little they need to contribute. When the energy isn't mutual, when the effort is one-sided, you unknowingly hand over power. They start to understand that you will always be the one who tries, who forgives, who holds on. And when someone knows that no matter what, you will never walk away, they stop valuing your presence. This dynamic is not balance. It is not love. It is dependency. True love, true friendship, and true respect should never feel like a constant struggle. They are not meant to drain you or make you feel as though you must continuously prove your worth. A healthy bond is not about endless chasing or convincing. It is about reciprocity. It is about two people who choose each other again and again, not one person desperately clinging to a bond while the other barely acknowledges its existence. The heartbreaking truth is this: when you are the only one fighting to keep someone in your life, you are not holding the relationship together, you are holding yourself hostage in it. You are trapped, not by their absence, but by your fear of it. And in that prison, you lose yourself piece by piece. The illusion of effort. Why do so many of us fall into this trap? The answer is often rooted in fear. Fear of loneliness, fear of rejection, fear of being seen as unworthy. We convince ourselves that if we just try harder, if we give more, if we love enough for the both of us, then maybe, just maybe, the other person will finally realize our value. But this belief is an illusion. Love that must be earned through endless sacrifice is not love. It is control disguised as affection. It creates a cycle where one person becomes the giver and the other becomes the taker. And takers rarely stop taking when they see that the supply is endless. What's worse is that the giver often confuses endurance with strength. They tell themselves, if I can just hold on a little longer, if I can forgive one more time, if I can overlook this one last disappointment, maybe things will change. But what they fail to see is that every time they excuse neglect, every time they settle for less, they are teaching the other person how to treat them. Silence as a test. Sometimes, the bravest thing you can do is step back and allow silence to speak. Effort reveals truth, and so does the lack of it. If someone cares, if they truly value the bond, they will meet you halfway. They will notice the silence, feel the distance, and step forward to bridge it. And if they don't, their absence speaks louder than any excuse they could ever give. Silence is not always the absence of love. It is often the loudest teacher. It forces clarity. It strips away the illusion of effort and reveals the raw truth. Who is willing to choose you when you stop begging to be chosen? Walking away is strength. Walking away is often seen as weakness, as giving up. But in reality, it is one of the strongest decisions a person can make. It is not a failure to walk away from someone who doesn't meet you halfway. It is wisdom. It is an act of self-respect. It is choosing to no longer water a plant that refuses to grow, no matter how much sunlight you give it. Strength lies in knowing your worth and refusing to pour your energy into someone who only takes. It lies in understanding that love should not feel like captivity. The right people, the people who truly belong in your life, do not need convincing to stay. They don't need constant reminders of your worth. They see it. They honor it. They choose you not because you beg them to, but because to them, you are irreplaceable. Real connections flow. The most beautiful thing about real connections is that they flow naturally. They are not forced. They don't feel like walking on eggshells or endlessly auditioning for approval. Real love, real friendship, is not exhausting. It is nourishing. It doesn't leave you drained. It leaves you grounded. It doesn't make you feel small. It makes you feel seen. When two people truly care for each other, effort is not a burden. It is a joy. Reciprocity becomes natural, not forced. Both sides invest. Both sides nurture. And in that balance, power is not a weapon, but a shared strength. The courage to choose yourself. It takes immense courage to stop chasing, to stop begging, to stop proving. But that courage is what leads you back to yourself. When you walk away from someone who cannot see your worth, you walk back into your own power. You reclaim your energy, your dignity, your voice. Choosing yourself is not selfishness. It is survival. It is understanding that you are not defined by who stays or who leaves. You are defined by how you love yourself enough to not settle for less than what you deserve. And here's the beauty of it. When you begin to honor your worth, you attract people who honor it too. The moment you stop begging for crumbs, you make space for a feast. The moment you stop clinging to those who don't value you, you open the door for those who will. Final truth. So remember this. If you are the only one holding on, you are not keeping the relationship alive. You are keeping yourself trapped. Real love does not need chasing. Real friendship does not require constant proof. Real respect is not demanded, it is given freely. The right people will meet you halfway. The right people will not make you question your value. And the right people will never need convincing to stay. Because real connections are not a battle, they are a flow. Walking away is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of the chapter where you finally learn that you are enough, exactly as you are. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.